Test. Okay.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to have some 10 tricks and tips for some Slack productivity. A lot of us are new to Slack. It's a new thing, so just trying to get some intro tips that you can guys go through. My name is Chris Rodriguez. I'm the CRO at MK Partners. I've been at MK Partners for 13 years now, so I've been at Salesforce and doing this stuff for a long time now. So I also have Jessie here, so I want you to introduce yourself, Jessie.
Yes, my name is Jessie, and this is my first time attending TrailblazerDX, and I'm happy to be speaking this time. And also, I've been part of the ecosystem for about 2 years now, and currently as well employed with MK Partners, which is a great company, and just like many companies in the Salesforce ecosystem.
Awesome. We all know this slide, forward-looking statement. You know, don't make any purchasing decisions based on things you hear, only on things that are currently available. Yada, yada. It's all good stuff. So.
And of course, if you know, at the end of this session, just like all the other sessions, there's a quick survey there. Feel free to let us know what you like, what you didn't like, or what you'd like to see. And you do get a chance to win some pretty cool stuff. So go ahead and scan that before or after, or you can check it in the app right there for the event session.
Awesome. All right, the first thing you do when you get your Slack is you want to explore the platform, right? That's always going to be your first step. If Slack's brand new to you, it's a little bit different than some of the other tools out there. You've got 3 different areas that you can check out. There's the mobile, browser, and desktop. Each has its own benefit, so definitely take a look and see what's going to work best for you. Having options is always good because number one, it's going to be able to work best for you and also have that different availability depending on where you are. With the mobile, you got that portability, the ability to use it anywhere, having to share files directly from your phone. So we all take pictures with our phones. So if you want to share it in a channel, all that kind of stuff, it's always easy to do instead of having to go to your desktop, upload, and all that kind of stuff as well. The browser is really good for when you're on a computer that might not be yours. At work, we all share computers. We have work computers, home computers, all that kind of stuff. So the browser is a way to get to that Slack and be able to use it right from your browser. And then the desktop is that dedicated app. So if you have your computer, like for me, I'm always on the desktop application because it's just easy enough to use. It's downloaded right on there. And I can use shortcuts and things like that. A little thing we'll talk about a little bit later. So yeah, find out which one works for you. And then the next tip, go over to Jessie.
Yes, of course. The first thing is, in order to be productive at something, you first must become familiar with it. So let's get familiar with our layout. First thing is the navigation bar, also known as the sidebar, right? It's intended to give you access to the most relevant information within your Slack platform. So learn the ways of the sidebar and how your daily usage of the Slack platform affects the sidebar, okay? When you're working, right, most of the time, people's time is limited and valued. That's why you want to go ahead and set up your preferences. That way you can let people know when you're in work mode and when you're not, okay? It's a very simple thing to do. It only takes a couple of minutes and lets other people know when you are available and when you're not. So in case you get that a message, they'll know that that's the time that you're not available. So you don't need to worry about trying to respond to an urgent message when it's not time for you to be doing your day-to-day activities. Slack uses channels for various purposes. So that's why when you start to Slack in the beginning, you'll join a lot of different channels and you'll be like, oh, okay, I'll join this channel, this channel. Eventually, your Slack layout is going to get cluttered and disorganized. So what you want to do is you want to use sections to divvy up those channels into different categories for you to be able to relay based on what you do day in and day out. Okay? Make sure to keep an eye out for pinned context within each of the different locations of the sidebar. That means that somebody wants to let you know that something important, or at least relay the information. That pinned information is something that you can also use as daily reminders when you go about your business. Okay? Obviously, change is unexpected, so always take 5 to 10 minutes out each day and take a look around in the layout. Things change. It may actually benefit you, not in the moment, but later down the road. Chris, do you have any shortcuts that can help me along the way?
Absolutely, I do. I love shortcuts. I like to quickly get things and update things without having to click a mouse or do all this kind of stuff. So get to know your shortcuts that work well for you. Those are going to save you a lot of time, especially when you're just sitting there on your computer, on your keyboard and everything. Update your navigation or where your navigation is by using Command 1, Command 2, and note that I am on a Mac. I'm a Mac person, so mine is Command stuff. If you're on a PC, it's going to be a little bit different, but be sure to kind of check that out to find out which actual keys it's needed. So pressing that 1, 2 will change the kind of different areas. We'll go to your DMs or go to your homepage, etc. Using Control-Shift-Y for your status updates. So that's a really good one to let people know what your current status is. As Jessie kind of mentioned earlier, updating your status lets people know if you're available or not available. And always updating that lets people know that you actively use it. So if you say you're away, you are actually away, and that's not just your status all the time. If that's your status all the time, people just don't believe it, right? So update your status, and having that quick way to, I'm going to go off, go to lunch, update that status pretty quick. Another one I really like is a carriage return. Instead of having that message again and again and again and have that notification kind of blur that people kind of ping, 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 ping. I always like to add that character return to then have a larger message when it's just a big statement off to someone, so I'm just sending them one message. And then also the last one, which is kind of helpful, is maybe you sent that wrong message to Derek about Derek directly to him. Well, using Command Z can quickly unsend that message before he reads it, and you kind of make sure you're in the clear, and you say, "Oh, don't worry, Derek. That wasn't for you. I figured it out." So, that was close. So after that close call, I think we're ready for the next tip. So Jessie, do you have one?
Sure, most definitely. So obviously, our minds work in various ways to remind us of things to do now or things to do later each day, right? Some of us like to jot these down in order for us to remember, and other of us just play by ear. No matter your habit, finding ways to apply these reminders on a day-to-day basis, it's important to get things done. That's why within the Slack platform, there are a couple of ways you can use these tools built in to help you remember things. The first one is setting reminders. So within the Slack layout that we talked about earlier, there is a way to go into the Save for Later section and actually set reminders for yourself. These are very simple to do and help at least remind you each day what you need to do on a day-to-day basis. They also help you build an agenda on that given time and give you kind of like a notice. It's like a good way for you to kind of get a notification sent to your work platform and let you know that, hey, I need to take a look at this. Let me see what this is all about. So it's very easy. You go to navigation, you click on the plus icon to do the reminder, and then you just writing some notes. And then when the time comes, right, because you kind of set up the time when the actual reminder is scheduled to notify you, it'll go ahead and prompt you up. At the same time, you can actually use a really cool feature within any channel, thread, and DMs, which is Save for Later. So same process. It gives you the option to go ahead and actually save any document or conversation within any of those communication options for you to be able to recall later on. This Save for Later inbox is actually a cool way to organize a to-do list each and every day. Don't treat it like a regular inbox because then it's just going to get cluttered with a whole bunch. Make sure you're only using it for those important reminders or notifications to have you take a look at, for example, and to do some sort of respond to, let's say, an activity. Let's say you want to go ahead and provide some feedback for the next project that just came in. Maybe you want to go ahead and collaborate with a group of people about a new creative design that just came in. No matter the reason for sending reminders, make sure that it's something that can let you know that it's that you need to do it right now, but you need to do it later on, right? This new mechanism may require you to enter habits of doing things that you're probably not used to. So you want to make sure that you build these new habits for you to do every day, day in and day out. They might sound a little bit tedious in the beginning, but will yield great results in the long run. Chris, I can't seem to find where that last message went. Can you help me out?
No, sorry.
Oh.
You should probably search for it, which is the next tip, right? Every application nowadays has a search function, and Slack is no different, right? So getting to understand how to search things is going to help you tremendously, right? In order, instead of scrolling, you go through your DM and just scroll, trying to find what you're looking for, using that search to quickly jump to where you want to go, and using modifiers is going to help you kind of refine that as well. Phrase searches can be like hit or miss sometimes. So because every word in that search must be in the term in order to find it. So try by starting a little bit more general and then refining from there. Searching messages is pretty straightforward. It searches in that message. It searches for those words in that message. Searching in files will actually search for the file name or sometimes context within the file. If it's like a PDF, sometimes it can search the file inside of there. If you search in a channel, not only returns the channel names, but also descriptions of those channels. So if you've got a big organization that has a lot of different channels, sometimes you quickly finding it, quickly searching for it will pop it up instead of having to scroll on the sidebar to try to find it, that specific channel. That's always good as well. Using modifiers is really going to help in order to kind of better refine those search. Like, for example, using like that has star means only finding messages that you've starred, so things that you've saved or things that you've kind of gone through. Has a specific emoji, because we know Derek always likes to use the thumbs up emoji on everything, so I want to search for that. You can find up his messages pretty quick. And also, if it's to you, so if you use the modifier to me, searches messages directly to you. If they mention you, that's always a good way as well. If I can only search for my next tip. Oh, it's right here. I found it. Jessie, can you help?
Sure, but of course. Yes, so leverage each type of every communication channel to talk to the people you need to talk to the most. Spend more time thinking about what you want to say instead of trying to get somebody to respond back to what you've asked. Within Slack, there are 3 main communication channels. Let's break them down, right? First are channels, right? So consider these like this conference room right here, right? They're pretty much, you can invite just about anybody and keep them up to date with information relevant or not relevant to them, right? What do you call, just like when you were in elementary and you had those intercoms that pretty much blasted various announcements, right? All those announcements may or may not be relevant to you, but the information was given to you regardless, right? Channels provide public information with a sense of consolidating individual efforts in one central location. Channels help bring people together of similar interests, like a club in middle school or high school. You got to meet new people and with similar interests. Use channels as a way to build engagement between colleagues and potential friends. Right? With direct messages, or DM for short, right? You're establishing short, direct conversations. Like when you walk up to a colleague's desk and you want to find out what they did over the weekend, right? It's usually a communication between a smaller set of people, and it's more open-minded and informal, right? Most of the time, they help you connect with specific individuals in a more direct level, while at the same time keeping the conversation in a closed loop. There may be sensitive information that needs to be discussed and not intended for everyone. We conclude with threads. Use these when you need to gather people in a huddle or continue a conversation that you do not want to interrupt a channel. Okay, threads can be treated like a classroom that the teacher breaks up into smaller groups. Right, each group starts working within themselves while the teacher continues providing instructions to the entire class. Right. With that, sorry about that. Threads help acknowledge task given. So you can use that as a means to let somebody else that an action has been completed or a task requested has been completed. Okay. Leverage these communication methods for you to be able to engage with others and at the same time get your message across. Chris, I need more ways to share information with the team. Can you help me out?
Well, of course. So there's always different ways to share context inside Slack, and there's a couple different areas to do it. So getting important information across is readily available to you via bookmarks, canvases, and channel definitions. So use bookmarks and folders to share outside links to content within a channel or with someone. So a link directly to your website or to a specific page on your website, or things that you always reference that's outside. It's usually a direct link to something. And then you can use folders to better categorize those links within that item as well. Canvases let you organize and share content directly. So if you're in a channel, you can have a canvas on the side that's going to share direct PDF files. Maybe it's a pricing sheet that's internal, it's not external, and so someone can always go back and update that information, whether that be that pricing sheet or a technical doc that support uses often. And then, of course, you always have a lot of channels, and let's face it, we all forget what that channel might be. So that channel, having a channel definition will really help you understand what that channel's for. Like, oh yeah, the sales channel's for sales questions, right? Okay. I usually forget that, so I make sure to always read the description. And also when you're searching, as we mentioned before, it will search the channel definition as well, so that'll help find that information as well. Jessie, can you help us with our next tip?
Of course. If you're yelling at someone, most of the time they won't bother to pay attention. At the same time, if you do not express yourself, they might not understand that it is urgent. Okay? A simple nod or hand gesture goes a long way to get a message across. Okay? No matter the situation, Slack provides a means to express yourself through emojis. These small digital images help people visually represent an idea, emotion, or situation without the need to type it all out. Upload some or use predefined ones. Emojis are fun and help add a little flair to your conversations to easily respond and acknowledge them while saving some time. You can also use emojis to visually draft out information such as special instructions, an upcoming team activity, company updates, or anything that requires you to address a lot of people at once. Okay? Combine various emojis such as arrows, indicators, alerts, hand gestures, sequence numbers, and colors to turn plain old text into stunning visuals to catch your reader's attention. Expression is part of communication. Slack welcomes the use of emojis to help users express themselves quickly and go about their business. Let others know who you are by expressing yourself through the means of emojis. But Chris, I have people skills, and I prefer to talk to people directly. How do I do that?
There is a way to do that. I like emojis as well. My daughter always helps me understand what emojis to use. But if that's not always your thing, sometimes you just want to talk to someone, right? Sometimes instead of writing out an essay with your comparison paragraphs and all that kind of stuff and people to read it, it's easier just to talk. And Huddles allows you to do that. There's so much video fatigue now with being virtual and Zooms and Meets and Hangouts and all of those type of things. Sometimes people don't want to do those because they feel obligated to get on camera. And face it, in the beginning of the morning, I haven't done my makeup yet, so I don't really want to get on the camera right away. I like to use Huddles as just, hey, this is our just voice chat. I know that's hard to remember that we used to just call people and you didn't have to get on camera. So this is just that other way of me quickly wanting to talk to Jessie. I could just quickly huddle him and he knows he doesn't have to get on camera. So if he hasn't gotten out of his PJs yet, he knows he can just talk and we can have that easy conversation to have to go through there. You know, so it's just that nice way of just adding that extra element. And if you're right there within Slack, you're already communicating, you don't have to exit out of Slack or send a Meet link and then that goes to a browser. Some other people I know do that to me all the time. With that, is there more information that we could go through?
Yes, there is actually. Our last and final tip is, well, the purpose of these tips first is to help you build a productive environment within your Slack workspace, enhance your routines, and build new habits to improve the way you use Slack. The learning does not stop. With our last and final tip, which is to gather more information through identifying helpful resources along the way to visit time and time again. If you have a question, head over to Slack Help. Similar to Salesforce Help, it's a repository of all the help articles that are contributed by the entire community. Use those to see if there's something that can provide the information you need. Followed up by that is actually head over to the actual Slack community. All right? If you want to become an expert or want to elevate your knowledge, you can communicate with other Slack members and share similar, information. If there's something they can help you with, somebody else has posted already. If not, then go ahead and post a question yourself. That way, at least somebody can try to point you in the right direction. If not, it'll at least spur up the conversation for a potential concern that others, like yourself, have experienced but did not share. Okay? If you do like to, if you do enjoy using Slack and want to do even more than that, then actually join one of their community chapters. Similar to Slack chapters, right? It's just a place for a lot of people that want to help others grow. Similar to what we're doing here. We're sharing our knowledge to help you grow, and vice versa. These tips are not limited to just this stuff, so if you do have some tips, feel free to share them yourself. Obviously, we do encourage also, if you want to take that next level and actually test yourself and earn some credentials, similar to Slack. There's various ways to earn those credentials through the Slack certified website. Okay, being productive is a lifestyle and goes beyond the workplace. We hope these tips and tricks can help you build new routines, which will yield new habits and new ways of using the Slack platform. We thank you for your time and look forward to connecting with you in the future.
Of course, you have the survey for the, let us know how we did, of course. Salesforce really wants to know that. We really want to know that. I always want to improve in anything that we do. So thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. And of course, thank you, Ivzan. And you can scan this QR code to download this if you want to kind of have that slideshow readily for you, so we reference everything like that. So with that, appreciate everybody. If you have any questions, we're always here to chat.
Thank you.